Hey guys, what's cracking? Welcome back to Clash with Barndo. It's been a few days since I've done a video. I think it was our organised war with Above that was my last one. Tonight I'm going to go through a bit of a war recap. Finally got my level 20 Warden and been playing around with him. One thing with the patch we've just had, obviously the Eagle Laser the Eagle Artillery has been changed. So where are we looking here? Just a bit of a farm. This is how I sort of farm at the moment, with 2 golems and 6 witches, and then I'm taking the 5 EQs, the donated poison. So I would do it differently in war, but obviously the golems are now pretty much poo versus the Eagle Artillery if you're not going to hit into the artillery straight away. So what happens is the witches get it. So yeah, you can see some good effective farming raids there. And this is up in Titans, and I'm just sort of moving through. So now I finally finished my Warden. I stuffed up, I didn't do my gold storages, so I need to get into them. Let's have a look at our Warlog. We did have 2 modding clans out of 4 wars, which got a lot of F-bombs, a lot of C-bombs, a lot of all kinds of stuff. Pretty disappointing, but so it is. So we changed our queue times, and we actually had a good war versus Japanese Masters. I've got a lot of credit, and due to Japanese Masters, it's probably the best loss we've had in a standard play game. Great guys. Their bases were great. They did outnumber our 9s by a fair chunk. That's where we lost it. I mean, we personally had 5 Town Hall 10 hit downs, and then there was a couple of Town Hall 9s missed for the 3. So we were well and truly outmatched for Town Hall 9s, but we did have a crack, and that was on the patch. So it was interesting to see them stuff up on some of our bases, and then vice versa. So that was a good war, and it's nice, refreshing to have a different time. It has meant that we've had to muck around a little bit and get used to these time differences, and try not to have a stressed Barndo with playing his multiple accounts and trying to get all my attacks in before the time differences. But let's go into our war win. 178, nearing that 200 mark. We're not far off now. Versus Hong Kong 3, won by 6 stars. Good destruction. What was interesting, a good thing worth pointing out, was 4 defends on Dave's base. These guys are struggling to get their Town Hall 11s in order, so it was an interesting war. Excuse me. We had the 3 11s and the 1 10. They had 2 and 2. So we didn't actually get any 3 stars, which was disappointing. We did run a lot of scenarios. Dave did do a witch attack versus their number 1, which was pretty cool. And we had an 89 with Clan Mascot, which was funny. It was a remake of Barndo 80's attempt, and a 79 on number 4. So probably a little bit rushed. The attacks were a little bit more planning. Would have been nice to have got the 3 on both of those, but solid strategies nonetheless. For tonight's replays, seeing as it's been a while since I've done a replay, I'm going to show 5 Town Hall 9s and a couple of Town Hall 8s. 8s, yeah, they deserve a bit of a special mention. Hasn't been for a while. Let's have a look here at the first one, which is Phoenix. He's gone on with a GoVaHo, and it's good to have Phoenix back with his big 30-30s. So what do we got? He's got the shattered GoVaHo. Bit of coffee on the go. Settling in to get me YouTube hammered. Got some exciting stuff happening over the next few days. We've got another arranged war in Above and Beyond. It's actually Above and Beyond versus Above and Beyond QQ, so that'll be an interesting war. How we going here? He's walked old Jimmy Bob into the Queen. Had to rage for that. Unfortunate the balloon probably did get at least 1 deploy off there, so that would have eaten up all the Barbarian Kings. Oh, yeah, most of them. There you go. So both your golems have split. King's there, though. He's on full health, and he started his hogs quite well. So we weren't sure what the bombs were on this base, whether they were singles or doubles. And we made the judgment call. Well, Phoenix made the judgment call that they're in shit spots anyway. So he was probably going to be tripping them, but would then need that extra heal. Blah, blah, blah. Spit it out, Barndo. So yeah, absolutely smashed the base. Lots of hogs left. The big heroes in the middle there. Well done, Phoenix. Just gonna get a boot up noise. Open up one of my tablets. Let's have a look at number 8. And that's Phoenix again. Big 6-star war, Mr. Phoenix. Got him with a GoLaLoon, which was interesting. DTN did attack this. He probably stuffed up his air element, but it gave Phoenix a nice replay. So still a definitely viable army. GoLaLoon. He did have the 3 air defences stacked away at that top left-hand side there, which were fairly easy to access and then also to kill. So Hound in the CC. Good use of the golem with the 2 hogs up the top there. That was a good little assessment. So the full rage, that was good because that got the golems, that got the king and the queen, of course, to get that annoying little hound out of the way. Old Jimmy Bob goes and touches up the queen. And there you go. The queen's now got that 3rd air defence. Now what's funny to see is Phoenix is starting to deploy his loons, and pop goes the queen. He missed that. The base was well and truly killed by that stage, but yeah, obviously, you know, it's always nice to keep your heroes up where you can. That queen definitely would have got a lot more. Still got 2 hounds, I think, by the looks of it. Is it 2 hounds there? 1. I don't know. Yep, 2. Definitely 2 hounds. So 1 will pop shortly from those balloon traps. There we go. Second one pops. Thanks to the air traps. There's our feeder war looking. 0-0. Let's have a look now. Number 9, we got Ginger. I think he had a 6-star war as well. Well done, Ginge. Got him with a stoned GoHog by the looks, and he's taken the earthquake spells. Good use of a initial wall breaker to test for traps. You know, you don't want to be spamming those 3 down. I'm not really sure about, is that worthwhile, that earthquake there. A jump would have done it, definitely. But, I mean, he's walked away with a 6-star war as well, so it's a good healthy amount of wizards in the middle there. That hound lasts next to no time. Starts to spread his hogs. He's only got the 2 heels left. That's probably why he did. Oh, well, you could have done it with 1 jump anyway, but still, he might not have gotten that entire access with the jump. So that earthquake has given him, what, 60% of the base. Golems are still tanking a fair bit. Probably could pop his queen to get that expo off him. It's hard sometimes to see during your raids. It's all well and good analysing a raid and putting it on YouTube and having all these comments, but it's very hard when you've got a lot going on to try to see these things. But that expo, he could have popped his queen's ability earlier and she'd still be on 80% health. The unfortunate with the pup split there, could have been maybe he was a touch too early on his hogs. But either way, he's walked away with it. Well done, Ginge. Alright, let's look at number 11 next. And this was Dennis. Dennis had gone in with a GoLaLoon. It was a funny war. We had quite a few air raiders, which was good. It's nice to not just have the, you know, reliance on the hogs as heavy as what we have been at stages before. So what was funny was, sorry I did miss that, I was looking at another screen. He drew them down the bottom there, and then he starts his golem and heroes at the top. So I don't know whether it's just he wanted his king to get into that queen first unopposed, but it's done well. It's timed it all nicely. The queen's at the top of those 2 air defence, 3 air defence all stacked in together. So he's chucked a rage down for his hero group. Jimmy Bob's gone down, he's passed away. But good little loon deployment here. I remember Dennis at the start when he first started doing GoLaLoons and trying to learn his loon deployment. You can definitely see here there's no big rush to get them all down at once as we all do at the start when we first learn. You definitely got to have your loons for the back end. 2 wizard towers like that, they're just going to absolutely smash those big groups. So you see a fairly good deployment there with the 2, but he did have 4. I didn't see where the other 2 went down. But that's it, the base is dead. He's absolutely smashed it. Good assessment of the base, Dennis. I actually think he might have had a 6-star war as well. So we've got a lot of guys in these. I mean, the war we lost to Japanese masters, we can definitely hold our head up with how well we did. And I don't mind losing a war. I'd much rather lose a war to a team like that than modders. At least you learn things, you get different base ideas, you get to see different things. And that's what I love about the game, is seeing the variations. There's still a fair bit of play at Town Hall 9. There's still a fair bit of fun planning out these raids. It is possible to stuff them up. Alright, there was one more I wanted to have a look at. The re-emergence of the PentaHound. Now, old Ben Dover had a crack at this base with his level 1 PentaHounds to start off with, but yeah, obviously Ginger with his big heroes. The object he put down, his king and queen there, he did have his queen in the wrong spot, was for the queen and king to take out that blower. That's pretty much just a swap. There's a hound in the clan castle, so you just pretty much ignore it. I think Ginger, if you do watch this, probably go a few more haste, and then you can just spam them down. Just a really big spread, but I mean 4 raids you can spam them down anyway and get most of the map. But you see with that queen and king taking out so much on the side, that it's herded really well, and it's allowed the loons to have a much smaller path to have to go through. Unfortunately the queen, because she's such a high level, she's stayed alive till the end, long enough to get that hound drawn out. Lots of spells to haste and rage, and that base is dead. I loved PentaHound when it first became very popular. Just so easy to deploy it. You just smash them all down, and people were getting, you know, flogged quite easily, and that's when they had to bring out that second blower. Just want to point out, if we have a look from enemy number 15 down, all one hit, but there was 2 bases, so they're number 22 and 24. They're all one hit. This is the power that our Town Hall 8s. It is quite easy at the moment, but yeah, our guys smash it out. They smash it out early every war, and then they're opening up the level 9, the level 10 bases, and even Town Hall 11s when all of that's done. So there's still a lot of versatility in having available Town Hall 8s. We've been getting into the 30 versus 30s again. We've done a couple in the last 3 or 4 wars, and hopefully we're getting from 30 to 35 soon. But you see here he's done a good herd to make sure the dragons have gone straight at that air defence. This is the first city. He doesn't know what's in the CCs, what's traps, anything like that. And what you do see is quite a patient wait for his CC loons. He probably could have waited a touch longer, but a good amount of waiting, and then in they go, the hay spell. This is your donate options now, because taking a poison for an enemy dragon, which is in 95% of CCs this day and age in random Town Hall 8 wars, you just don't need a poison. So even if it's a high amount of archers in a base, you still don't need a poison, because they stack up and pull up nicely for the dragons. One of the things that do annoy the dragons are skellies, and if they get summoned and sit there and then you put a king down and it drags dragons away. It's quite funny to see. So he did, you know, most of his dragons died and stuff, but for a first hit, you can see right there, Town Hall 8, it's pretty simple. Even in the war versus Japanese Masters, our Town Hall 8s held themselves pretty high, gave us a lot of base opens. We'll go number 16 as well, and this is PC. I've been meaning to do some replays from PC for his, he does a healer, 1 or 2 healer in some combos with his Golem / King, and they are quite funny. They're quite good and clued on, but unfortunately with the update and all the replays getting taken off, I would have loved to have replayed our war versus Japanese Masters, put up another loss on YouTube. Bit of a thunderstorm outside. I've got coffee and Clash. As long as everything's charged up, I'm happy. So what's he gone in with? A shattered GoHog. But he's actually split them up. What's interesting with this attack, sorry, I did watch it, I was just trying to remember which attack it was you see he's used his king as well as a third tank. So he's done a 3-point sort of attack at the top, and then just a small amount of hogs down the bottom, and 3 heals for them. So it's still a full golem. I don't know how much damage that had left, but yeah, for a really good GoHog. First attack, of course. Excellent raid, PC. Every war we've got PC in there smashing them out. You do see the corner huts. Those are things you don't want to attract the attention. Look, it's a good hint. You don't want to attract the attention of the old builders' huts. So having 4 builders' huts in corners isn't that smart. Whereas if you have 1 and surround it with some flags or the little fire pits, whatever, anything like that, sometimes it can be hidden, especially the very top one. The top one's a special trick. And where are we? It's a special trick you may not notice. I'll show you on the one base that I know there's one in. Where are we? Scout. So you notice right there, that's clan mascot, and what do we got? Builder's hut up the top. Good little sneaky trick for anyone. Other than that, as always guys, hope you've had a bit of a laugh, hope you've learnt some attacks, and clash on.